try to make this the only thing I talk about. My name is Brad Waldrop. I'm not currently a resident, but I'm basically down here all the time. I manage property at 14th and Washington. Something positive I can say about this is Alderwoman Lyda Krewson came out with the Real Change campaign, I think a couple of years ago, and she hired a professional messaging company to brand it, and they rolled it out in the West End. They came up with those green meters that you might see by Pie Restaurant, but that was just a form of messaging. It wasn't meant to collect money, but Real Change was a play on words to say, hey, you know, if you want to affect real change, don't hand money out on the street, call United Way, because that's going to get money to people in the form of real help instead of money for booze or drugs, because statistically a lot of it ends up there. Lyda wanted to roll it out in downtown and in Soulard, I think, South Grand and the Loop. And again, it would start to inform tourists and people in the region that are sustaining this, because it's probably not us that are handing out money, in my opinion, to people on the street. There's enough providers down here. So one thing you can do as a group, if you become active, is write a letter saying you support that campaign, because I know City Hall's been considering it.
He signed in. Come on up.
This one probably needs to go a bit higher. Can everybody hear me? I come with a different perspective because originally I was born.
Can you say your name?
Oh yeah, my name is Eric. My last name is Nam. I was originally born in England, spent time in Africa, and I've spent a lot of time, like people here. I had a home in Chesterfield. One solution that I did today is there is a place where you can go walk a dog. And I walked a pit bull who happened to be real friendly. But I'll guarantee you, if you want to keep anybody away from you, it's a solution. You're doing great things. This is a no-kill shelter. And by the way, they have different grades. The aggressive ones are red. Mine was a purple one, and his name was Orion. And I will guarantee you, if you're walking this pit bull, you will never, ever have experiences with panhandlers. So I was offering a solution, but really it's about bringing everyone together. Anybody in this audience today can have a job, and tomorrow it can disappear. They can be bought out corporate, and from living a life of luxury, you can be living a life of, oh my God, what do I do? So I think one of the ladies said, how do we connect the dots? How do we have these big arms and encircle this whole community so the whole place can grow and be this marvelous place that we really want it to be? It's like the whole world in the arms. But please volunteer as well. There's all kinds of dogs. It's a no-kill shelter, and they'll train you, and I'll guarantee you, if you're walking one of those dogs, nobody will bother you. And you can roll on the grass with him like I did today. Keep your heels up.
Hi, I'm Daryl Gabb. I live at the Ventana at 17th and Washington. And I have a good way of dealing with panhandlers. And what I do is I look busy, and I walk kind of fast, and I don't make eye contact. If somebody speaks to me, pretty much I ignore them. You know, if they try to speak to me again, I say, no thank you, all right, as if they're offering me an hors d'oeuvre, and I keep walking. I, you know, don't interrupt my gait. I don't look at them. Usually, that's the end of it. I had one experience where somebody said, what does that mean? No thank you, and, you know, in an angry way, and so my reply was, there's nothing about you which interests me. And I didn't stop walking, I really didn't look much at them, and I just kept walking. So I think that, you know, part of what they're doing is they're trying to interrupt your walk, they're trying to get your attention, whatever they want, even the time of day is designed to break your routine and put you more in their control because now you're standing in front of them. So if you don't have a dog, right, my suggestion is, you know, pretend you're from New York. All right, I'm from Chicago, and we really don't have time for people that we're not doing business with. So that's my solution.
Okay, is there anyone else that would like to address panhandling? Okay, if not, we'll move on to the next topic, which is homelessness. Somebody like to please come up and start the talk on homelessness.
Hi, everybody. My name is Tekka Childress, and I've really been glad to hear some of the things people have said. I was really touched by the gentleman who walks his dog. I live just north of here, and I work at BJC Behavioral Health on the homeless outreach team on 14th and Olive here. And about 35 years ago, I began at age 20 to work with homeless people at a shelter caring house. And so my whole adult life, I have lived among men and women who are without a home. And indeed, I do believe that any of us could find ourselves in that condition in the future. And as good as we treat one another, anyone who lacks what they need is as good as we treat the best of us. And so I wanted just to say that it's been very hard for the homeless. As many of you know, folks who are down here have often been moved by from many other places. Most recently it's been difficult because some encampments have been closed and benches have been taken out of parks. And I think that's why we're starting to see the consolidation of so many people in one place. I know a lot of people get frustrated with Reverend Rice, but I just have to say that when I found people with nowhere to go, he's taking people when no one else has. And I don't think he can be found responsible for the problem of homelessness in our country. I think what I'd like to say is, you know, I've just written a paper on homelessness recently and was looking at the history of it. It really got worse in the 1980s. And there are a whole series of factors that cause this problem. But I know one thing for certain, and that is that unless we all work on this problem together, we'll never solve it. And I thank you so much. I just ask everyone to really try to help one another. And I have some I'll just say 3 really quick things. I'm part of a group that does a winter outreach in the winter, and I invite anybody to join me in that, to find folks who are sleeping outside. We're trying to get them in shelter at night in winter. A group of us do that and invite them to join us doing that. Secondly, I think having lockers downtown and places for people to shower would help a whole lot. And then thirdly, in terms of just panhandling, I would just say, I find that although there are times when people treat people very badly, that should never be accepted by anyone. But often I find actually to just talk with people ask me for money, and I just talk with them and tell them I don't have any way to give them. So anyway, thank you very much.
Hello everybody, my name is Wayne, and I've never stood in front of a large crowd and spoke. I'm originally from Illinois. I moved to downtown last year. Let me tell you just a little bit about myself. I'm a Vatterott trained and was a corporate supervisor at Vatterott with commercial and residential maintenance, heating and cooling, electric, plumbing, mold certification, lead abatement, and asbestos. A couple of years ago, I broke my neck in 3 places in an auto accident, and my unemployment ran out. Well, they phased out my job due to my lack of ability, mobile ability. phased out my job, my unemployment ran out, so I had to mortgage one of my homes to pay the payments on the other one. That ran out, and the bank took both of my homes. Well, I am homeless as of about a year ago, and I reside at 1411 Locust at Larry Rice's house. I could have been on the streets. I am not for aggressive panhandling. Though I realize those are incidents that need to be aware of. But with more and more facilities who are accepting, federal money, they have to tell them exactly where every penny is spent. Reverend Larry Rice extends a hand where they come to his doors. He feeds them. They come in. We turn nobody away. I'm a staff member there now. I'm a building supervisor. We've had complaints that our facility is dirty. I just took the news crews in with a complete tour. This place is clean. I stake my reputation on it. It's orderly. There is no violence in our facility. If there is, they have to leave. What we need is a more caring and understanding and reach out to our fellow man. And that's all I have.
Hello, my name is Callie Johnson. I'm a little sweaty. I was actually at the protein shake shop getting a protein shake after I worked out. Was told about this. I don't live downtown. I just moved here from a very small town of about 2,300 people, Altamont, Illinois. I work in Centralia, Illinois, and I moved here because I'm single, I have no kids, and I wanted to experience the city. Probably like within, I want to say, the first couple weeks that I lived here, I lived in Tower Grove area. I was downtown. I found a gym down here. I like to hang out down here. And I was really bothered by all the homeless people. My background is in social work, and I actually assisted in developing a program at our hospital in Centralia to assist our homeless in our town. Much smaller population there. So I was astonished to see how many homeless people were here in the city. I've never really been exposed to that before. So I made a couple of phone calls and I volunteered a couple times, and I feel like we need to have a very large system change with how we deal with homeless people. Roundabout way, what I did in Centralia is I developed a program to assist our homeless population as well as our population that had no insurance or who are underinsured to afford their medication. There is a program, it's needymeds.org, where anyone who meets 200% of the federal poverty level can get medication for free. What I see from the social work standpoint is that a lot of our homeless people suffer from a mental illness, and they do not have access to a PCP, primary care provider, or anyone to seek therapy or counseling to assist them to meet their needs. So I see it's a much deeper seated issue, and I feel like our healthcare system, I'm not really sure how much it's involved here in the city, but I know in Centralia, Illinois, where I work now, we really reach out to the community and provide shelter, we provide water, food, and also this service where we case manage our individuals who need medication assistance. So anyways, there are programs out there, and I think we need to look at it in a different way, rather than a person standpoint, rather than panhandling, but we need to look at the whole system. And I would be willing to volunteer, and I'm sure there are other social workers out there that would be. So thank you.
Said I wouldn't get up here more than once, but I lied. I just came from a board meeting at the bridge at 16th and Olive, which I've been on the board of for 4 years now. I'm not here speaking officially for them, but I think it's okay if I read something from our meeting minutes, if I can find it, to, I think, Tekka's point. I think that was her name. Is that right? We facilitated 143 showers during the month of August. I was personally involved in constructing the showers at the bridge. And we referred 117 persons to other agencies, which is huge when you're working on these issues, is referrals, because not any one facility has everything under one roof, although some people try to do that. And so this is right in our neighborhood, but what I'm most encouraged by is that some of the board members went out and bought a 4-family. Now, this can't address, the mentally ill, which are truly chronic are true chronic homeless most of the time. But they're going to try to put people maybe like Wayne into transitional housing, asking to pay some rent after giving them some free rent. This is actually in South City by Civil Life Brewery and Shop and Save near mass transit. So the point is there are progressive ways, and I agree with what the last woman said with the social work experience. We need a systems change. If you notice, both she and Wayne are from Illinois. They're not from the city of St. Louis, yet it's the urban cores that are taking care of the mentally ill when really the rural areas need to take care of their own people. I don't know how we address that, but I believe in redistributing services somehow, and I think this neighborhood could educate themselves and start to learn about facilities more and how we're truly dealing with it in downtown.
My name is Stephanie Eigner. I live at Lucas Lofts over on 11th in Washington. I'm born and raised New Yorker. I've seen the city, lots of homelessness. I'm not a local person, but during the time of Giuliani, he did drastic cleanups of New York City. I'm sure there is a model out there that this town can follow and take example from. I'm a young professional. I live and work downtown. My boyfriend is in the military. We are both good citizens. I support local charities such as Gateway 180. My company supports them. I volunteer there. Great, let's offer people help. But what we're doing right now is not a solution. My boyfriend and I can't wait to get out of downtown St. Louis because I do not feel safe, and my boyfriend does not either. A military person does not feel safe downtown. That is an issue. I love local business. I would love to support it. We'd even raise a kid here if we felt safe. So I think that's saying enough. Thank you for putting this together tonight.
I'm not sure if this is helping or hurting. I've lived across the country in plenty of different cities. Grew up in Detroit, born in New York, lived in LA, and comparison might not make a difference, but the homeless problem, there's not that many homeless people here, and it's not as bad as everyone made. This is Mayberry. This is one of the safest cities I've ever been in. And for everyone to complain that they feel unsafe walking up and down the block, it's not that unsafe. There are certain concerns we need to address, but it's not unsafe. And I feel fine walking up and down the block every night, and I shrug my shoulders when I hear people feel that they feel unsafe. There are bad parts in the outer city, but in the downtown, this is a great downtown, and I have no problems with this city. I lived in Venice Beach for 5 years. I really don't like panhandling, and I've had my fill of it. There's like 15 bums down here that ask you for stuff. You know half of them by name. It's kind of a drag, but it's city living. Everything can't be perfect. It's city living.
Hi, I'm Dana K. Goddard. I live at the Redmond Building above Lucas Park, and then I manage the Fitness Factory. So needless to say, I'm on the block a lot. I agree with something that he said, and I disagree. I agree that downtown's a wonderful area and it's thriving, and I disagree on feeling safe. On the homelessness, I think it's really just about finding a balance. I think that most of us have compassion for other humans, so we see some people who are truly in need, and we should help them, or at least connect them to a service that will help them. I also, it's hard to see some people with services and opportunities at their fingertips, and being that I've worked with homeless ever since I was 11, I know that St. Louis has a lot of opportunity for them to get help, but we can't help the people that don't want to help themselves. And a big red flag for me, being raised in the suburbs and just living down here a few years, is I know families who